Hello and welcome. Now you might be wondering what this grep or pgrep or xarg or this t, what does it mean? It's not even English, and you are right, it's not English. These are some of the commands that we are going to see in this lecture that we can use on our Linux distribution to manipulate the output of certain commands. Specifically speaking, what this grep command does is that it can find a syntax or a string or a text in a file and give us the output. So grep can be used for searching text or strings. There are variables of grep. Grep, by the way, this itself stands for global regular expressions print. So it's like it is used for printing the output, the strings in the file. There are two basic variations of grep, and if you are working on a really old Unix distribution, you may find commands which are egrep, and another one was fgrep, which nowadays are the same as grep with a switch of capital minus E and grep with a switch of capital minus F. Their functionality differ by this function that this grep E or egrep, it treats the meta characters as they are. So like question mark or this plus sign or maybe this pipe sign or these curly brackets, they are treated as meta characters and are treated in the same manner. But if we are talking about grep minus F, which is for fixed grep, then this does not recognizes meta characters as special characters, and that is the difference between grep and grep minus F. So it's like, let me give you an analogy. Let's say if I want to search a file which has got period in it, which is dot, and this is a special character as well as far as Linux regular expressions are concerned, and this means that any character. So any character. Now if I grep, let's say grep, and then I grep this dot, putting it in inverted commas, and then the name of the file, let's say file. If I use grep, then this dot, it will be interpreted as a special character, and every line or every character in that file will get printed. But if I use fgrep and the same syntax and then file, then only those lines will be printed in which this dot is placed and not other lines. I can use pgrep command to find the process ID of a process. For example, I can maybe pgrep and Oracle. So if Oracle is running, it will give us the process ID of that particular process that is running, which is sometimes used if I want to maybe kill that process or use it for some other purposes. Then there is this xarg command or execute arguments. What it does is that when we are doing, let's say, redirection or maybe piping, let me just remove this slide. So let's say I've executed a command which is like this command, and this command produces an output. Now I want that this output should be taken as an input to another command, which is, let's say, command number 1. Now sometimes, or rather in most of the cases, some commands which are like this one over here, this command like ls command, they do not support taking input as an output of another file. So if I do piping like maybe command and then pipe sign, so that this piping means that the output of this command can be put as an input to the other command, which is, let's say, if I put in ls, then my purpose would be so that whatever is the output of this command, let's say I'm doing a find, and I want that all the files that have been found by using the find command should be listed using ls command. Now this command will not work because ls does not take input of the output of find command. So I can make it do that. What I can do is that I can put in xarg over here. So I can write this one like xarg and ls. Now what it will do is that xarg will take the input of this command and put it as an input to whatever command is here. I can even use the tar command. So if I find certain files and I want those files to be tar walled or archive them, I can use this xarg argument. The last thing is the t command, which is like t is like this t character, and what it does is if I've got an input, let's say this is the input, and I use this t command, then what it really does is that it puts the input into a separate file and also displays it onto standard output. So it's like redirection switch but with enhanced functionality, because in redirection we used to have this character where it would put the output of certain command into a different file maybe, but this t, what it does is that it not only puts the output into a file but also displays that onto standard output. So let's see some of the functionality of these commands on the terminal. So I'm here at the terminal and I want to find that, let's say, let's just have a look at what I'm having in here. So there are 3 files, and if I do an ls-l, then we see that all the 3 files are empty except the last one, which is test2.txt. And if I do a cat to see the contents of this file, I type in test2.txt, we see that this is test for grep. So there is just one string. Now I can use grep command and I can type in that whatever text I want to find. So the text is let's say for, and then I want that it should find it in all the files in this current directory or the directories down below. So I press enter and it shows that this is the file test.txt in which for is available. What I can also do is, let's say I run this command grep with sudo privileges or root privileges, and this time I search for, let's just say find for maybe special character, maybe system, and find this specific word in var folder. And not only that, it should find it in the var folder, but also I want it to ignore the case and number the lines at it shows the output. So let's see that if it finds any text string system in var directory files, or I can also add in recursive switch so that it recursively search all the directories within the main directory. And now press enter and let's see the results. So this is showing us all the lines which have got system in them. For example, this one is system. So all the files which have got the string system in them. Interestingly, this -n switch that I given, this one over here -n, it is not printed line numbers against these outputs. So let's just specify a certain file by typing in, let's say, var log d message, which is the file which contains the message at the boot time or the debug messages. So if I press enter now and finding for the string system, let's say this time whether it shows the line numbers or not. So we see that this time it has shown the line numbers printed against each line where that value system was occurring in that file. Now I can use the same command but with a pipe character, or the output of the cat command, which is to concatenate the contents of a file on the standard output and then use the pipe direction or the pipe character to make the output go as an input to the grep command. So I can do that by typing in cat, let's say, and the path which was var log and d message, and afterwards pipe sign, then grep, and then the text that I wanted to grep, which was system. So if I press enter, we see that we have got the same output that we have over here, and not only that, but this has been highlighted as well. Now I know on this system SSH service is running, and I want to see that what is the process ID of that SSH service. One way to do that is if I type in PSAUX and then I grep the ID or the string of that process, I see that SSH daemon service is running and its process ID is 635. But if I type in like this, that pgrep and sshd, let's say, then straight away it gives me the three running processes against SSH daemon, which are over here. Since I am connected remotely to this machine, so multiple instances are running. And as I said that I can use the xarg command to take the output of one file as an input to the other. Let's try to run command. Let's say that I want find dot and then minus name and then all the files which have got txt in their path. So I can type in txt and close the quote marks, and if I press enter, then it shows us these two files. Now if I want to see the size of these files, let's say I can maybe use the pipe character and use ls-l command. So that apparently what I'm trying to do is take the output of this command and make it as an input to this command. So let's say if this works or not. Apparently it did not, because you see, if I simply type in ls-l, then this is essentially the same output as of this one. In fact, the command should have shown us the sizes of or the lengthy display of ls command of only these two files, because that was supposedly should have been the input for ls command. So this is the situation where xarg come in handy. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to append xarg before ls-l, and now we see that the output has, and it has given me error because I forgot to put in s. So now if I press enter, we see that indeed now the output of this has been piped into ls command using xargs, and now only the long listing of these two files has been displayed as compared to the earlier output that we had seen. Now the last command that I wanted to show you about is the t, where in the functionality is that not only the contents should be displayed on the standard output, but they also should be placed in the file. So I can do that by typing in echo and let's type in Linux rocks, and I close the quote mark, and after that I use the pipe sign, then use the keyword t and then the name of the file, which is, let's say, t file. So if I press enter now, we see that this is the output of that command, because it was supposed to display it on standard output. And also if I do, let's just say date, so that you know what time it is. At the moment it is 15:54, and if I type in ls-l, we see that this t file has been created at 15:53. So that's the output file that was created using this t command. And if we have a look at the contents of this file, t file, we see that's the same as that of Linux rocks, which was displayed on standard output. So that's all there is to it as far as grep, pgrep, xargs and t's are concerned. Grep is widely used in system administration. I have personally used it maybe countless numbers of times because it is very handy tool to search the strings and the text in the files. And also this pgrep, I do use it occasionally, but to be honest, not that much, because sometimes I simply use ps command to and then use the grep function. but that really depends on your requirement. You might use some of these commands or all of these commands on regular basis in your environment. I hope you have learned from this video, and I would like to thank you for viewing.